Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So I hope you all are fine and having a great day. So just wait a minute. Let me send to the group so that we could start. Before we start, just a second, guys. Okay, so let's just start, inshallah. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So let's start. So we are reading Learning How to Learn, and we are on the page of 188. So right, so food also feeds your brain, right? You may be wondering whether what you eat affects how you learn, right? So the answer is yes, it does. In fact, if you exercise and have a healthy diet, it has a big impact on your ability to learn and remember, bigger than either exercise or healthy eating alone. So what does it mean to eat healthily? Research shows that adding fruits and vegetables to your diet is a good idea. Try for a variety. Vegetables from the onion family, which includes garlics and leeks, contains chemicals that help keep away all sorts of diseases from diabetes to cancer. So do vegetables from the cabbage family, which includes cauliflower, broccoli, radishes, and Brussels sprouts. Fruits of all colors are also great, including oranges, pears, blueberries, cherries, and raspberries. Dark chocolate has some of the same good-for-you chemicals as fruits, and more besides. But choose chocolate with low sugar and avoid eating chocolate later in the day, as it can interfere with your sleep. Nuts are also chock full of healthiness. A handful of nuts a day can nicely round out your diet. Try to avoid fake foods that have had most of the nutrition processed out of them. The fake food family includes foods like French fries, chips, chicken nuggets, and anything with a lot of sugar or white flour in it, like donuts, some breakfast cereals, and soft drinks. Desserts, not a food group. Dessert is not a food group, right? Everyone has a different ideas about the healthiest diet to follow. A Mediterranean style diet is a good choice. As you might guess, it's a diet that grew up around Mediterranean countries like Greece, Italy, Portugal, and Spain. It has lots of fruits, vegetables, fish, olive oil, and whole grains. You can learn from many sources. Back to Julius Ego. How did he keep improving? He didn't have a coach or all the advantages of a richer country, sports scientist, psychologist, and nutritionist. Here is the surprising thing about Julius. He became champion by watching lots of YouTube videos of Jolin throwing and then trying it himself. He sat in a cyber cafe, a place where he could access the internet for hours, studying his heroes. And then he practiced a lot out in the African hills. In the end, he did get a coach from another country, but for a long time, all of his coach came from the internet. He later became known as Mr. YouTube Man. Why am I telling you this story? Well, it's an inspiring story, but it also brings together the two important areas in this chapter: exercise and learning. I also want to show you that you don't necessarily need to learn from a book or a teacher. You can teach yourself by using the internet and other resources, and by practicing, and even more practicing, getting feedback however you can. So Julius Yego must be a genius as well as a champion athlete, right? Well, he might be. I don't know him personally, but his brain is in much better shape than if I had just watched YouTube videos. He watched and practiced. He learned new information and he practiced it. That's the goal for you too. I think Teddy is a genius. I know he makes exercise a really important part of his day. He loves to jog by the ocean. For him, it's a great way of slipping into diffuse mood. It's often when he's just jogging that he comes up with his best ideas. He's exercising because he likes it and because it's good for his brain, but also because the new ideas help him with his job as a professor. Exercise, an all-purpose tool for good health. Exercise does something else magical. It enables your brain to produce either chemicals such as serotonin and dopamine. These chemicals help come up with new ideas. They allow you to see how old ideas can link up to form new ones, right? So they can think in new ways. All those little mice running about are sure to find new perspectives on the forest. Exercise isn't just good for every organ in your body, it's good for your brain too. It improves understanding, decision making, and focusing. It assists with remembering and switching between tasks. It can also help people recover from mental illness. Some psychiatrists say that exercise is stronger than any medicine. Pause and recall. Sometimes you feel feather-brained as you are trying to look away and recall a key idea, or you find yourself reading the same paragraphs over and over again. When this happens, do something physical. For example, a few sit-ups, push-ups, jumping jacks, or cartwheels. This can have a surprisingly positive effect on your ability to understand and recall. Try doing something active now before recalling the ideas of this chapter. Now you try. Exercise. So what are you waiting for? Are you still sitting down reading this book? Get out there and chase a mouse. Wrestle a zombie. Vacuum a stair. Tickle an octopus. Carry a locker. Whatever exercise you like, enjoy your diffuse mood. But remember to come back later and finish the book. Summing it up. So you can learn from the internet as well as from teachers and books. Exercise is really good for your neurons, especially the new ones. Exercise helps create a chemical that is like food for your brain. Exercise releases chemical that generates new ideas, right? Exercise is a great diffuse activity. Check your understanding, okay? So chapter number 12. Making brain links. How not to learn from a comic book. When I was a kid, I was a little sneaky. My parents wanted me to play the piano, and I wasn't that excited about it. But I did as they asked, kind of. Every week my teacher gave me a new song to practice. I would also practice older songs that I had already learned. It was a lot easier and more fun to practice the older songs. My parents could hear the piano going in the background, but they never paid attention to what I was playing. I had spent 5 minutes practicing the new song. Then I would put a comic book on the music stand in front of me. I would play the older song over and over again for 25 minutes while I read this comic book. Altogether, this made a half an hour of practice. When I was improving my ability to play the piano, or was I just kidding myself? And what did my parents do when they realized what I had done? Becoming an expert. Let's step back and remind ourselves about brain links. A set of brain links is a well-practiced thought trail, Remember, we can also think of them as wide, smooth mouse pathways in the forest. Your attentional octopus can easily reach out and link to the right brain links whenever it needs a little help with its thinking. That is, if you have taken the time to build them, having lots of brain links relating to a topic is key to becoming an expert. So the puzzle on the top of the next page, every time you create a solid set of brain links, it's like connecting some pieces of puzzles. When you have created enough links, the puzzle starts falling in. You begin to see the big picture of the subject. Even if there are a few small link pieces you haven't filled in, you can still see what's going on. You have become an expert. But what if you don't practice with your newly developing brain links, right? You can see what happens then by looking at the faded puzzle at the bottom of the page. It's like trying to put together a washed out puzzle. It's not easy, right? Each time you create a set of brain links, you are fitting together pieces of puzzles. The more you work with your links, the more you see how they fit in with other links. This creates bigger sets of links, right? So see here. So again, these are the brain links. When you build and practice with enough links, you see the big picture. You have become an expert, right? If you don't practice with your links, they start to fade. See, they are fading. This makes it harder to see the pieces, which makes the puzzle harder to put together. Two key ideas behind linking. This brings us to a critical question. How do you go about making a set of brain links? Two key ideas will help get you started. One involves practice and the other flexibility. Number one, deliberate practice versus lazy learning. When you practice enough, you can build solid brain links. But the way you practice is important. When you have got an idea well linked, it's easy to practice and it feels good. But this can turn into lazy learning. Lazy learning doesn't encourage new daytime bumps on your dendrites that can turn into solid new neural connections while you sleep. When you can read comic book while you are practicing it, it's time to move on. The best way to speed your learning is to avoid lazy learning. If you spend too much time on material you already know, you won't have time to learn new material. The idea of focusing on the harder stuff is called deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is how you become an expert more quickly in whatever you are studying. Number two, interleaving or how to teach interstellar friends. Developing flexibility in your learning is also important. Here is a story to demonstrate this. Let's say that you make a new friend named Leaf from an exotic planet where they use advanced technologies. Your new friend has never used hammers or screwdrivers before. You want to teach Leaf how to use a hammer and a screwdriver because you know about cognitive load. You are careful not to teach Leaf too much at once. You start by showing Leaf how to use a hammer. He learns to pound in lots of nails. After a couple of hours of practice, Leaf is clumsy interstellar friend. He has got the idea of how to nail well nailed. Next, you give Leaf a screw. To your surprise, Leaf starts trying to hammer the screw into a board. Why? Because when the only thing Leaf has used is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Leaf is applying the wrong technique to solve the problem because he hasn't studied and practiced when he should use one of the two different techniques. Okay, so it's important not just to practice a given technique or item. It's also important to practice choosing between techniques or items. This is true when you are learning all sort of topics, right? So practice different aspects and techniques of the skills you are trying to learn is called interleaving, right? So just remember your interstellar friend, Leaf. Interleave. Get it? So here are some visuals to help you better understand the idea of interleaving. When you study a typical topic you are learning in class, say, topic 7, you are often assigned a batch of homework problems related to topic 7. Here is an example. The problem numbers refers to problem that your teacher assigned from a textbook. So plain assignment, topic 7 problem 4, topic 7 problem 9, topic 7 problem, okay? So these are the problems. But when you interleave, you start mixing in other types of problems. So you can see the difference. Notice below how the shades boxes cover different topics that you are mixed into the topic 7 problems. In that way, you can become comfortable not only within topic 7 but also with the difference between topic 7 and topic 4, 5 and 6. See, so interleaved assignment, topic 7 problems, topic 4 problems, topic 7 problem 9, topic 6 problem 26, topic 7 problem 15, topic 5 problem 18. So you have just, you have differentiated between these problems, right? So topic 7 problem 17, when you interleave with different topics, you can almost feel your brains go, wait a minute, what is this? I didn't expect to go back to the other stuff, but then you will notice how you begin to see difference between the topics in ways you hadn't previously imagined. Making a set of brain links. Now we can finally explain some of the best ways to make a set of brain links in different subjects. Focus. The most important step is the first one, focus. Memory champion Nelson Dellis told us that focusing is important for memorizing, but focus is also important more generally. Like for any information you want to link, you have got to use all the arms of your attentional octopus. No TV, no phone, you are going to be forming some new brain links, so you need to concentrate. Maybe grab your Pomodoro timer, tell yourself, this is important, I need to focus. Psst. Can you make new brain links if you are not paying close attention? Maybe. If it is super easy material, but it will take you a lot longer to make the links. Do it. Active practice. If the brain links you are creating involves a physical action, then focus and do it. For example, if you are learning how to score a basket in basketball, you need to practice making a basket, and then you need to do it again, perhaps from a different angle, again and again and again. You will be getting constant feedback, because if you are doing it wrong, you won't make a basket. Likewise, if you are learning a language, you will need to listen and say the words over and over, and if possible, get feedback from a native speaker. If you are learning to play a musical instrument, you will need to practice new tunes. Or if you are learning to draw, you will need to try different techniques. Get feedbacks from teachers wherever you can to correct yourself. The key is to actively practice or bring to life whatever you are learning yourself. Just watch other people or look at a solution or reading a page can allow you to get started, but it won't do much to build your own neural structure of learning. Remember Julius Hugo with the jawline? He wasn't just passively watching YouTube. He was focusing on the techniques and then actively practicing them. So practice your new skill over a number of days, making sure you get some good sleep each night. This helps your new synaptic brain links to form. You want to broaden the forest pathways, thicken the links for your mental mouse. So you also need to change up what you are doing. In soccer, you need to learn to dribble the ball, cross, pass, or shoot it. And you need to be able to tackle and chip the ball too. It's not just about kicking the ball any old way. So all these skills are separate but related. To become soccer expert, each skill needs to be practiced separately during training, then interleaved. You want your reactions to become automatic during the heat of a match, right? So whether you are learning martial arts, dance, and additional language, knitting, welding, or origami, gymnastics, or the guitar, it's all the same. Deliberate practice with interleaving. Focus on the hard stuffs and mix it up. That's how you become an expert. So special advice for math, science, and other abstract subject. Let's say you are trying to make a set of brain links in math or science. See if you can work a problem by yourself. Show your work and write your answer out with a pencil. Don't just look at the solution and say, "Sure, I knew that." Did you have to peek at the solution to get a little help? If so, that's okay, but you will need to focus on what you missed or didn't understand. Next, see if you can work the problem again without looking at the solution, and again, do this over several days. Try not to peek at the solution, right? So at first, the problem may seem so difficult that you could never work it, but it will eventually seem so easy that you will wonder how you could have thought it was hard. Eventually, you won't even have to write the solution out with a pencil. When you just look at the problem and think about it, the solution will flow swiftly through your mind like a song. You have created a good set of brain links now. right? So notice something important here. You have used an active recall to help you create your brain links. As we mentioned earlier, active recalls is one of the most powerful techniques there is to boost your learning. So, a key idea here is that you are not blindly memorizing solutions. You are looking at problems and learning how to build your own brain links. Once that solid, beautiful set of brain links is formed, it can easily be pulled up into working memory when you need to. With enough practice independently solving the problem, not looking at the solution. Each step in the solution will whisper the next step to you. A big reason for my bad maths grades when I was teenager was that I looked at the answer in the back of the book. I fooled myself that I already knew how to get those answers. Boy, I was wrong. Now as an adult, I'm having to relearn math, but at least now I know not to fool myself. Richard Seidel. So special advice to improve your writing. The techniques we describe to improve your maths and science skills are very similar to what you can do to improve your writing. Famous statesman Benjamin Franklin was a terrible writer when he was a teenager. He decided to do something about this problem. He took pieces of excellent writing and jotted down a word or two of the key ideas of some of the sentences. Then he tried to recreate the sentences from his head, just using the key ideas as hints. By checking his sentences against the original, he could see how the original were better. They had a richer vocabulary and used better prose. Benjamin would practice this technique again and again. He gradually began to find that he could improve on the originals. So, famous American statesman Benjamin Franklin was a lousy writer as a teenager. He decided to change himself by actively developing his writing skills, his writing links. As Benjamin's writing improved, he challenged himself to write poetry from the hints, right? So then he began scrambling the hints to teach himself about how to develop a good order in his writing. Notice, Benjamin wasn't just sitting around memorizing other people's good writing. He was actively building writing links, so he could more easily pull the good writing from his mind. Can you think of how you might do something similar if you want to improve your artistic ability? Okay, so yeah, it's enough, I think. From tomorrow, inshallah, we will read next from here. Okay, thank you, Jazakallah khair. And thank you for joining me. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.